I, of course, am a diocesan bishop and have responsibility for my own diocese as regard to making sure that the Charter for the Protection of Children and Young People is implemented in my own diocese. And I just finished a year and a half ago serving as the chair of the Committee for the Protection of Children and Young People for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. That committee is a standing committee of the Bishops' Conference of the United States that oversees the implementation of the Charter and the essential norms which are particular law for the Church in the United States. They work with the National Review Board, which is a group of lay people that has been established to advise the bishops about child care protection measures and ways in which we can rebuild the confidence of the Church in the United States. The bishops of the United States commissioned the National Review Board to conduct studies that would look at the nature and scope and the causes and context of the child abuse by priests, by clergy in the United States. They conducted these two studies beginning in 2004 and then again in 2011 for the causes and context. The most interesting finding of the causes and context was that one cannot speak of any one particular cause of the sexual abuse of children by clergy. There were, however, multiple factors that were responsible for this abuse taking place, and among them being that of opportunity. Opportunity was a major factor because children being involved in the life of the Church and with clergy many times unsupervised and also unprepared to deal with their own growth in the area of human sexuality, provided that opportunity that unfortunately brought about the harming of children. It was very clear that it peaked in the late 70s and early 80s, and most of the abuse was done by people who were ordained to the priesthood in the 1950s and around that period, the decade before and after. And it showed an enormous plummeting of the cases beginning in 1980, the 1980s, when a lot of measures were taken not only for screening of candidates in the seminary, but also when the world of psychology caught up to what was happening in this area of child abuse. Not until the mid-1980s was there even a term of pedophilia, and so the people who were the professionals in this area also found that they were ill-equipped to deal with this problem, and that had an impact on the decisions many times that bishops made. There were a number of recommendations with regard to the formation program, although many of the aspects of formation that improved the situation were already enforced by that time of the John Jay study. It was also clear, however, that ongoing formation of priests is important, as well as measures that would educate anyone who was involved with the care of children. So our program of screening also involves a program of training. Those two have to go hand in hand so that there is a heightened level of awareness on how to prevent child abuse in our institutions. It would be difficult for me to know the extent of the abuse here because I'm not all that familiar. I would, however, see a value in a study being done here, because when we did our study in the United States, we looked for a control group that would help us measure the accuracy of our findings. We asked Boy Scouts of America, different religious denominations, the public school systems, and each one of those denied us the possibility of engaging them, even though it would cost them nothing, and we assured them we would find the funds to support that study. So we would, I think, welcome other countries, but also denominations and groups that work with young people to maybe undergo a similar study so that we can really make a contribution in this area of research.